Alright, welcome to my channel. This is Lock Chuck. This is my entry into the Lock Picker 1969's hashtag Lock Pick Tool 700 giveaway. Congratulations on your 700 subscribers and over 350 videos. So real quick, one of my longest picks I've had was this. I've had it almost 20 years. It's a Dyno Quick Pick. I know now that I'm in Lock Sport that it's a little snake rake with a built-in tensioner here that comes out. So this one I've had for some time and it's held up very well. So always be special as far as it was technically one of my first picks. All right. Then when I got into Lock Sport, one of the first things I bought was the Genesis set. Also bought Lock Noob's Essentials from Multi-Pick. I shouldn't have bought this as a new person because there was a lot of thin picks and stuff, and as a new person you don't need thin picks unless you're picking Euros, but here in the US no, so that's why they're still in here. I don't do a lot of raking except maybe try to get a fault set here and there, so that's why these kind of stay in the pack and kind of stay out of the, they're there if I need them. If I get a Euro or something, I need a small keyway. And the Genesis set, this is kind of what's left of it. Some of the picks are seen better days. Turned one of them into a probe after I broke it. And then of course the tensioners, tensioners work great. And the multi-pick tensioners out of the Lock Noob set. I love the top of the keyways there, so they get used rather often. But as a new picker, I shouldn't have gone with the big pack, but it still does its thing. It's my go-to pin tumbler picks. Of course, these are those. Kind of my next big step up was I got the monkey paw. I do like the monkey paw, and when I was, especially even now, I use it a lot. But as a new picker, the monkey paw is an awesome pick. But as far as my go-to right now is my Jimmy Longs. I got 4 sets as far as the flat in 23, the round in 23, and then the flat and round in 19,000s. So those are my go-to. I really like Jimmy Longs, like the handles. The price you can't beat. I mean, and they just hold up. I mean, they're tough. So those are my favorite picks there. I did buy a couple different sets of dimple picks. Of course, the 2 out of the Lock Noobs, they're awesome. I mean, they're the best ones in here, but that was only 2 that came in that set, and I tried a variety. I bought the hooks and the Honest. The hooks were better finished compared to those, so I do like the hooks a little bit better than the Honest, and of course the multi-pick above those. So those are the ones I kind of use if I need a dimple, but I've not really been into dimple locks too much. I've attempted a few and just not had very good luck. And as all of you probably know, then I kind of went into disc detainer. I started with disc detainer by making my own pick handles and my own tips. These are my version that I use the most. I did make one set originally that didn't last. I had a problem with it, and when I tried to fix it, ended up ruining them, and I had to make my second set. This was actually my second make of this, and this one works real well. Pick some black belt locks, works awesome. I mean, it is there. My second one I bought was this little Chinese version. It's not too expensive, but it's only right now for the Abloy Classics. So the limits of this, I mean, it's a pretty good pick. It's heavy. Because I believe it's brass body, pretty solid brass too. So works well. It's good for the classics, but until I can, and it's kind of an odd configuration the way the sizing to get this one to work. But other pick tips I guess could fit as long as I could get them, but I haven't. If I've made something the size, it was made for this one. Then since I was getting so into it, I did go buy the RWB Generation 3. This is an awesome disc detainer pick. It's got both scales for 0.16 and 0.2 millimeters, and it's got a little, somewhat of a decoder on there. I mean, I know these may be a little controversial, but this one so far is really my go-to for disc detainers. This is the one I kind of go to. I have a little issues here and there getting my picking tips to line up because they're about the same, but there's just a little bit of difference. This one was just a little different, and I had nothing really to go to, but this one has a special place for me because I made it. But right now, my go-to is this one. It gets a little bit heavier, a little different feedback because this is aluminum and this is steel. So, but both of those are great. So those are, as far as picks and stuff, the things that I like and use the most. And just a quick other things that I would suggest, especially anybody new getting into lock sport, some things you may want to get is definitely need some pinning tweezers of some type. These I think I bought off Amazon. I think they're actually called some kind of wiring tweezers, but they actually already have the tips bent. Several of these are ones I bought from like Harbor Freight I bought like 4 or 5 for, I don't know, it was only a couple $, but what I did is I put a small bit in my Dremel and just kind of, while it was spinning, I just went up to it and kind of closed it on there, and it put a little round in there just so you're easier to grab pins. So for a few $, and if you have a Dremel, you can make take a regular pair of tweezers and turn them into some there. And one thing I do like is these, like you let go and it clamps the pin, so you're not having to constantly sit there and hold it. It's kind of a reverse mechanism. You squeeze, release, and let go to grab. So those are nice. So that way, once you got it, you can actually set it down or something and still have hold of the pin or whatever you're working on, or spring. The only thing I will say is be mindful of these. Their tension is strong enough, depending on the spring. When you grab it, it can kind of kink the spring. So just be mindful. You may not want to use these too much on actual springs. And then something probably don't talk about very much, but are followers. I mean, however you can get your followers. These are some I made out of acrylic. I got some that are aluminum, but if you're going to be gutting, you got to have some type of follower. I mean, simple as a battery. I know some AA batteries will fit as followers, but I think you need followers. And of course, some, as you can tell, some of these have gotten used fairly heavily. Pinning trays. These are, I mean, we don't think of these too much as lock sport tools, I guess, but got to have pinning trays. I mean, when you're taking back apart locks, you need something to keep order. I mean, if it's corrugated cardboard cut out, with the ridges, so you can use that. But these, I know, are to me very important, especially trying to disassemble and reassemble locks. Like this one I've kind of made for like the high pin counts and the small ones, so I could have, I guess that's 24. No, that's more than that. That's 32 pins can go in this little tray. So when you're doing a very high pin count, you've got slots for them all. So those I think are very important. And then if you can upgrade to some of these little core holders, they do help hold the core from rolling and dumping your pins out and stuff. Those are very important, I think, too. But you have to, when you're getting into this, you kind of have to make decisions on what you want to buy and get. So it's all what you can kind of spin into it. Luckily, I have a 3D printer, and a lot of these are designs from Thingiverse, and then some of these, like this one, is my design. And these are some modified designs by other people as well. But all right, that's kind of my thoughts, and tell you what I use the most. And so again, Jimmy Long's favorite on Pin Tumbler, and my other favorite is right now, I will say the RWB is my favorite as far as disc detainer. But like I said, this one, this may be the one I go to, but this will always be special to me because I didn't make it from scratch. So, all right. Thanks for watching.